Well, I think we're live. Good. Well, yeah. Good morning, beloveds. I'm not sure I'm going to have a voice here. All right. We had a cool front come in, which thankfully dropped the temperature from 80 to 70. So we've got the windows open right now. And it was an interesting day in the park. There were plenty of squirrels, and I had one blue jay that just posed. Just one. Actually, there were two blue jays, but he landed in one of the newer trees and just sat there and waited for Tom to find him a peanut. So I took several pictures. So hopefully one or two of them are good, although I think they all are. So he was just right there. It was perfect. Okay. All right. We are doing a new design for living. So let's do the housekeeping. All the housekeeping is me reminding you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. That will get you one email a week unless something unusual happens. And I merely point out we live on the Gulf Coast. It's almost always weather related. If you get more than one. Tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot, so click here now means it. Take you right to the information of the person that can help you get it. And then the last bit is it's a blind CC. Nobody will see your email. You won't end up on anybody else's email list because of us. So hopefully it's totally worth doing. And then I will mention the social medias merely from the standpoint of we do not monetize them. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is go like, subscribe, follow based on which platform you are on, and then engage with the individual posts by commenting, sharing, and reacting to the posts. We think we have good tools to share. We hope you agree with us. And it's a free and easy way for you to support the center. Okay. All right. That should be everything. Now, a new design for living is exactly what it sounds like. It is a process. Jesse is very fond of saying that if you pray for something, then Spirit doesn't just hand it to you. Spirit hands you a process. Well, that's what this is. And I thought it was appropriate since I started it just before the new year. Well, why not kick off in the new year with a new design for living? So that is what we are doing. And I think we'll tackle two of the articles today because they're on the shorter side. And so that's why there are two in the description. So we are going to start off with mental merry-go-rounds. Yeah, mental merry-go-rounds. Mind and matter, pattern and tangible form, thought and experience. In every instance, the first determines the second. One is the cause, the other is the effect. When we pattern our thinking according to experiences of failure, unhappiness, or ill health, what are we doing to ourselves? We are letting a negative idea become the cause of more negative experiences, and we find ourselves caught in a vicious cycle or circle. This circular chain of events will continue to repeat itself with monotonous regularity. We need to step in consciously, break the sequence, and start thinking anew in accord with the results we desire. Otherwise, ill health could maintain itself, as could poverty. Perhaps to a certain extent, we are all on such a merry-go-round in one manner or another. But once we discover that we have the right and the ability to initiate a new sequence, to use the creative power of our own minds in a better way, then we can step off our dizzy ride, regain our equilibrium, and start going on in a straight path towards our desired goal. All of this is not a deep mystery, way over our heads, or too difficult to understand. We may just accept it all, as we do other things in life, and come to the simple conclusion that our mental, emotional, and spiritual reactions to life underlie and influence everything that happens to us. Now, that is all there is to it. But the concept is so great, so fraught with potentiality, that we have not yet even begun to scratch the surface of what it can mean to us. Okay, so the next section is start a new habit. So he said right there, look, we're on merry-go-rounds. We're all on merry-go-rounds. What we think and feel influence how our life goes. So what we need to do is realize, okay, wait, you know what? We don't have to stay on this ride. We can get off. But it requires us to make a conscious decision to get off the merry-go-round and choose a new goal. Once we do that, So here's where he said the next article, and again, it's fairly short, which is why I'm going to go ahead and do it. Start a new habit. So we've gotten off the merry-go-round. We don't want to get back on the merry-go-round. Here's how we don't do that. The practice of right thinking for the purpose of producing definite desired results is of utmost simplicity. It simmers down to the essential fact that we should make a habit of entertaining in mind only those thoughts and ideas which we wish to experience in outward form. Now notice he says, make a habit of entertaining in the mind. So we don't have to get caught up with every thought that comes through our mind. Because, random thoughts fly through our head, often put there by other people. If we choose not to entertain them, then they do not have to come to fruition in our experience. That's what he means by entertaining. It's like, look, if it's something you want, entertain that thought. Keep with that thought. Stay with that thought. If it's something you don't want, let it keep going. Just let it fly out as fast as it flew in. You don't have to entertain every thought you come across. If the experience is not right, change the thought or pattern which is the cause of it. You hear the story of the person who walking around the block who keeps falling in the hole. And they keep falling in the hole. And then eventually they learn, you know what, maybe if I just walk a little bit to the side, I won't fall in the hole. So then they walk around. And then one day they realize they can go down a different street and never even encounter the hole. This is what we're talking about. Start a new habit. We should so change our pattern of thinking that it more nearly expresses and coincides with that perfection which resides in mind God. God, by definition, is perfect, and examination of its handiwork reveals this perfection. Let us avail ourselves of it. As we do, automatically a better condition or situation will result. Back of everything, there is one great and good cause that can and will flow into and through everything in our experience. A new design for living needs to have a source, a pattern, before it can ever appear in our lives. The architect needs to have an idea before they start using their pencil. The idea is first. Illustrative of this and of our relationship to the creativity inherent in the universe is the statement by Plotinus, the famous 3rd century philosopher, whose work climaxed 700 years of creative thinking. Thought and thing depend upon and correspond to each other. What is real is not the aggregation of ponderable matter, but the laws which the soul makes and finds there. Each individual soul is a little first cause. Okay. Hang on. I have to think about that for a minute. What? Although the last sentence. Okay. Thought and thing depend upon and correspond to each other. Okay, I get that. What is real is not the aggregation of ponderable matter, but the laws which the soul makes and finds there. Each individual soul is a little first cause. I get the first sentence, I get the last sentence. I'm not sure what he's talking about in the middle of it. So, Greek philosophy. Okay, moving on. We understand nature best by looking above what is merely presented to our senses. No. Okay. What is free in us is that spontaneous movement of the spirit which has no external cause. Oh, we're still quoting Plotinus. This is why I'm confused. Okay. We understand nature by looking above what is merely presented to our senses. What is free in us is that spontaneous movement of the spirit which has no external cause. Or Ernest would tell you is first cause. If we can become aware that right now we are living in a universe that is spiritual with pure consciousness at its center, and that such a universe would have to be governed by this intelligence acting as law, and if we can realize that we are individualized points of consciousness in this one power, then we can see that each one has an intimate and personal relationship with both the infinite presence, which flows through all things, and the universal law through which all things are manifest. An intimate and personal relationship. An intimate and personal relationship, both with the intelligence and the law. Okay? This is a basic idea which we are going to use. It means that each of us may control their experience to the degree beyond all present expectations, and do so entirely in accord with law in the spiritual world. For it is the action of thought in the spiritual or mental world which governs our experience in the physical world, whether it be our bodies or our affairs. For it is the action of thought in mental... Okay. It is the action of thought. Okay. It is the action of thought in the spiritual or mental world which governs our experience. At which point, I'm simply going to point out what Shakespeare says. It's neither good nor bad. It's thinking that makes it so. And I think that's what that last sentence said. It's our thoughts that govern our experience. If we think we're going to have a good time, we're going to have a good time. If we think we're going to have a rough time, we're going to have a rough time. Because it is our thoughts that make it so. And now I have Jean-Luc Picard in my head. So, because, I totally grew up on Star Trek. So, okay. So, get off the merry-go-round. Consciously get off the merry-go-round. And then start a new habit. Realize that you have an intimate and personal relationship with both the intelligence and the law, which means that you have the right and the ability to use both. You have the right and the ability to use the intelligence, and you have the right and the ability to use that law to manifest things. The more you practice, the more you understand, the better at it you will get. I think that's one of the reasons, and I say this on a regular basis, I think that's one of the reasons why he named us practitioners. He wanted to remind us we need to practice every single day. All right, I'm going to give up here. I was not prepared for Greek philosophers this morning. All right, so we will pick up tomorrow around 8:45 with Nothing is Static. Although I will warn you that sometime in the early afternoon, I do intend to get on and read chapter 9 of Emma Curtis Hopkins. So you will see me again sooner rather than later. But now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day. That's not how I usually say it. I usually say an amazing day. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't think I slept very well last night, so I'm going to take a nap day. How about that? I'm going to cuddle with my fur babies day, take care of myself day. So I encourage you to have a self-care day. Make sure you take a break day, cuddle with your fur babies day, tell somebody you love them day, a do what you got to do day, a make some time to do something just for yourself. Also, make some time to do something for somebody else. You really want to get out of a bad mood, go volunteer. One of the best ways to do it. And I know it works because I've tried it. You got this day, I am out of ideas day. So I'm just gonna remind you to have the day that you deserve. A good day, and if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And, as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. So explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything is possible. All right, beloveds, I'm going to move on into the process of whatever this day is going to look like. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time. Oh, Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around